It's because of the principles that I want you to discover. Now, in the book, and on the MP3 player, that's 10 years old. The principles have not changed. Some of them have become more solidified by neuroscience. Let me give you an example. In the book you read, ask how the human being. Right, assume. Right? Every time you're somebody to prepare in a negotiation, someone, or you say to yourself, I think, a bell should go off. Alarm. I don't know. The greatest strength you'll ever have is I don't know. The greatest weakness in the human mind, from neuroscience, teaches a thing called theory of mind. Theory of mind. And that's the tendency of the human brain to think they know what someone else is going to do, say, they know how someone's going to react, how they're going to respond. And so they make predictions, and when they're right, they celebrate, don't they? They built Las Vegas that way. But in making agreements, we don't know what someone else is going to say or do. It's a terrible weakness you've got to overcome. It's called theory of mind. So every time someone says, I think, if we don't do this, they will. Those kinds of statements, be alert to them. Don't allow yourself to let those slip by, and don't think they're factual, because they're wrong. No, you may be right once in a while, but you'll be wrong. Too many times it'll cost you a fortune. Cost you an absolute fortune. When you hold your price, and if I'm coaching you, and if I said, ask this question, and you say, if I ask them that, they're going to get mad at me. Really? They're going to get mad at me? Yeah, I know they're going to get mad at me. What just happened? The theory of mind.
It's the theory of mind.
Kicked in and kept them from asking the most important question. When this fails, what will happen? I can't ask them that again.
So if they're celebrating when they're right, anticipate right, what's the emotion that they're feeling when they anticipate wrong?
Oh, wait.
Just massive fear.
No, you're a dumbass for saying that. I didn't mean you. If I'm going to guess, if I'm stupid enough to guess on what you're going to say, right, and you say the wrong thing, whose fault is it? It's yours, of course. Well, he's just a dumbass. You can't work with him. Michael, he's a dumbass. You can't work with him. He didn't say what he's supposed to say. You ever heard that? Anybody ever come back to you and said, you can't sell him anything? Or you can't fix his IT problem because he's a hardhead. It's always their fault, isn't it? If someone doesn't say what they should say, or what you thought they would say, whose fault is it? Yours or theirs? It's always theirs. That's theory of mind. You see it around you every day. Every day. Theory of mind. This right to veto, okay, that is a principle worldwide. Okay. You can take that principle in any language, anywhere in the world, in any culture. We do it every day. I've got people in my courses right now on the mainland of China, Russia, Brazil, Argentina, Zimbabwe, Israel, Lebanon, Iraq, France, Germany, Canada, Japan, Korea, Singapore, all over the world. The principles stand worldwide. Any language, any culture. Don't violate the principles. You'll read about adversary in the book, or you'll hear it on the MP3 player. Adversary is respected opponent. Respect. The key ingredient, and this is, I know this sounds simple, demonstrations of respect that you can come up with. That's the key word to adversary. Respected opponent. I can't stress that enough. I just can't. So, you had your hand up earlier, and I got off on a tirade, and I apologize for that. What were you?
You started off asking what do you want to accomplish when you first sit down.
Right, what would you like to?
When you first came to mind to me was trust. You know, to begin, to then the trust, because you started off saying, the guy has his walls, anytime you're going into any kind of negotiation, trying to develop both upon that trust. And, winning that trust initially, or first of all, I believe it's important to be able to have successful negotiation.
I think you're exactly right. What was the very first question I asked you? I think I asked everybody what you want to accomplish. Whose world is that? How do you develop trust? Whose world? What does your insurance salesman do with Circle K? Remember your daughter, maybe how old she is? How old she might be now? Their world, their vision. Greatest presentation you'll ever make is the one I'll never see. Greatest thing you'll ever do in negotiation, they'll never see it. They'll never see it. Questions on what we've talked about so far? I don't know how much time we have. Anybody tell me what?
Just a basic question when you're dealing with someone, let's say I don't know you, first time we met, and do we go right at it, small talk, do you warm them up? I mean, they're talking about building trust. Do you let them drive that completely, and if they do you try to get away from it? Sometimes I feel that, you know, we take our 20, 25-minute meeting, and I spend half the time with that, because I'm a talker, and I'm gonna, you know, ask questions, or tell about my kids, or whatever, depending on what I see on the walls, let's say. And get to that point, am I wasting my time?
Let's dig into this a little bit. Just take 2 minutes on this, okay? I personally think it's very, very important. Tell me, when you first go into a meeting, or someone calls you on the phone, let's do a phone thing first. Have you ever had someone say, "How are you today?" What happens? That's a behavior habit, right? I'm sorry. Have you ever called somebody and said, "Hey, how you doing today?" You don't know, and they said, "Not worth a damn." And what do you give a shit? So you're right. I'm not just straight. Here's my point. My point is, I've never met Michael. I've never met you till today. Is that true? True. Something more about it.
Got it.
You want me to sign it for you?
Do it. Give us his neighbor.
You coming down to the session?
Yeah.
Before senior.
There you go.
Is Michael in a negotiation he doesn't know he's in? He doesn't have salespeople. Right? You got techs, right? If I train all of your people, I'll guarantee you'll double your revenue in the next 12 months. Or I'll give you your money back. Just tell me no, you don't want to do it. Am I ever disrespectful at any time with anybody? No. So when you meet someone for the first time, all I'm asking you to do is spend as much time in their voice get into someone else's world. I never, it's not true, never. One of my board members is a guy by the name of T.J. Rogers. Anybody ever heard of T.J. Rogers? Who is he? Actually, he's one of the easiest, because he's a straight shooter. He's chairman of my board, my credentials board. He's also chairman of the board of Dartmouth College. And the reason I tell, the reason I talk about TJ is the first time I went into his office, he brought, one of his VPs bought a book 10 years ago. And asked me to come out and see him, I did. And I went in his office. He's a Green Bay Packer fan. And he's got this Green Bay memorabilia all over his office. I mean, it's sickening. He's got helmets and jerseys, and because he's from Wisconsin as a kid originally. And I said, you're a Packer fan. You go to many games? He said, every one. Every one. And at the time, they had a running back in Green Bay who was a kid that played football. My oldest son, Jim, in high school, kid named Vince Workman, was a running back for Green Bay and Ohio State. And Vince was still at Green Bay. And this is probably the only time I've ever done this. I just said, I've got a good friend playing for Green Bay. I helped raise him. Say hello to him for me next time you go to Green Bay. He said, who is it? I said, Vince Workman. Lo and behold, he called me from Green Bay and said, hey, I just had dinner with Vince. I said, great. That's the only time probably I talked about the office memorabilia. I usually get, Michael, my point is I usually get right to the crux. It's nice to meet you. What were your thoughts when you invited me in? That's where normally I go. I don't spend any, I don't want to ever appear disingenuous, but that's one time I think I kind of got off the track. If you came into my office and saw pictures of my kid playing at Georgia Tech, or my kid, the fighter pilot in Iraq, or any of that stuff, and you spent much time on it, other than being respectful, I would think you're being disingenuous. And up would come the barriers. So, hope that answers. Anybody? We've got a few minutes. Shoot at me, please. Give me some situations, see if I can give you a principle to guide you in the situation. Yes, sir.
You're negotiating with the purchasing clerk.
Sorry, again. Ray Ray, Mr. President. We'll go right to the CEO testimony. In fact, we did that twice prior to this purchasing.
So, I'm sorry, going back to the previous question, are you saying don't do a warm-up?
I'm saying to you, don't be disingenuous. Don't be slick and tactical. Let's talk about tactics for a minute. Everybody loves tactics. Everybody loves tricks. Everybody loves to see the slick, quick fix. Right? Don't you? Come on. This could be a trick. You could look at this as a tactic. If you look at that, you say, giving someone the right to veto, that's a trick. Right? It's a tactic. When you think in terms of tactics, what is a tactic? Now, I learned it in fighter weapons school. A tactic is something you do to take advantage of a weakness in an adversary.